guys, good evening and welcome to yet another free live session on the SBI Pure Prelims exam brought to you by TalentSprint. I hope all of you are healthy and so is your preparation for this exam, which is tentatively scheduled to start from 2nd of July, right? So before we get into the session, which is on solving previous year reasoning ability paper, I would like to understand how is your preparation for this exam, right? You know that it's less than 4 weeks now, right? Close to 3 weeks left for the exam. So I'm sure you are in high gear when it comes to the practice of various types of questions from different subjects for this exam, right? So I hope everything is going fine. Please let me know how the preparation is, right? And how confident you are about the SBI PU exam. Because understand, your preparation alone is not going to help you, right? You should also be mentally prepared and mentally fit that I'll crack this, right? Unless you are confident about yourself, nothing can help you, right? So please be confident, don't panic, right? And also give some time to your brain to relax, right? Don't prepare till the last minute of the exam, right? I would say at least 24 hours before the exam, you should shut your preparation down and just relax and do something other than learning or studying, right? So how is it going? Look at what Manikanandan says, right? I'm sure that I'll clear it this time. So great to hear that, Manikanandan, and I'm sure others are also in the same mode. I can see a lot of you have already joined, right? I have Deepak here on the chat, and if I have to read a few names. Yeah, we have Ranjit and R. Raja, Kishore, who say, preparation is going well. Raja says the preparation is fine. We have Abhinash, who has joined the session, Swati, Anji, Pallavi Yadav, Ayush, and Jyoti, Preeti Joshi, Vikas Yadav, Ankit Gupta, and all of those there. So, yeah. More responses there. I think we have Yatan Aman who says, hi Aman, how's your preparation? Satyam says it is going fine, great going. And yeah, Shubhendu Roy says, will you please take some problems on blood relations and inequalities? Well, Shubhendu, I think we have done enough problems on coded inequalities in our earlier free live events, right? You can refer to our YouTube channel and go through those videos where we have solved those. Blood relations, I'll see if I can take up a few questions from the previous year's paper in today's session, right? Yeah, Tushar says I'm working on data interpretation, and what does Srimanta have to say? Definitely does not follow is an SBI PU syllabus. Okay, you are like not asking me about a topic, you're asking me about a very small concept in a topic, right? You're talking about definitely does not follow is, I'm sure, from syllogisms, right? You're referring to the topic of syllogisms. And if you ask me if it is there in the syllabus or not, I don't know, right? Being very honest, I'm not sure whether it's there in the syllabus or nobody knows for that matter, right? The most predictable thing about bank exams or competitive exams is unpredictability, right? So they may or may not, right? You should not be preparing keeping these things in mind, right? That this is out of syllabus or this is in the syllabus. The syllabus is not defined to be precise, right? Okay, so I think glad to know that the preparation is going fine at your end, and I'm sure you'll do well in this exam, right? Keep practicing. Remember, practice is the only shortcut. The more you practice, the easier it gets, right? And by now you should have completed the learning part of your preparation, right? Learning all the concepts, shortcut, formulas, smart methods of answering varieties of questions from different subjects there, right? So keep practicing more and more, solve more and more previous papers, and give your best in the exam, right? And I'm sure these live sessions brought to you by TalentSprint will also help you add value to your preparation and get ready before you head for the D-Day of the exam. All right, so let's get started. Today's session is on reasoning ability. We have already had sessions on quantitative aptitude and English language from the previous SBI PO paper, right? And today we'll be looking at some questions from the reasoning ability section. Now, if you really look at the complete paper of SBI PO prelims exam, right, the reasoning ability part of it, we'll have questions from coded inequalities, coding and decoding, linear arrangements, circular arrangements, syllogisms, right? And then there are questions from blood relations and directions, etc. So most of these are simple concepts, should not be very complex, right? Practice is what will help you do the questions quickly, right? What we will choose and solve in the session today is two of the most important concepts. One is syllogisms, right? So there were 5 questions that were asked last year. We'll solve those 5 questions here. And then a very interesting puzzle based on arrangement of a family, right? Inside a car, right? There's a family of 7 persons and their blood relations have been given to us. So we have to first work on the blood relations of this and then adjust them inside the car who are all going for a picnic, right? So these are the 2 important topics that we'll be focusing on, and if time permits, we'll take up a few more questions. So let's quickly get started. I'll share my screens with all of you, which will have questions from these topics. I'll give you 30 seconds to 45 seconds for each of these questions, and then we'll look at the method that you have to follow for getting the right answer. All right, so let's quickly get started. Here we go. I'm sure all of you are able to see the shared screen clearly. And the first question on your screens now. So like I've mentioned, we'll be taking up syllogisms. So this is from Syllogs there. The direction says in these questions 2 or 3 statements followed by 2 conclusions numbered 1 and 2 have been given. You have to take the given statements to be true even if they seem to be at variance with the commonly known facts, and then decide which of the given conclusions logically follows from the given statements disregarding the commonly known facts. So that's the regular information given to us with these questions from Syllogs. Now the first one here has got 3 statements. Look at the statements. No factory is an industry, all workshops are industries, some plants are workshops. And there are 2 conclusions. Conclusion 1 says no workshop is a factory, and the second one says at least some plants are industries. Now your job here is to find out which of these conclusions logically follow the given statements. I'll give you 45 seconds for this and your time starts now. Okay, we have Ayush who says 1 is the answer. I guess option 1, which is only conclusion 1, is true. But Vikas, Desh and Sandhya, Manikanandan, Praveen say that the answer is option 4. Both conclusions 1 and 2 are true. So there is a mismatch in your responses, guys. So definitely some learning with the solution for this question. All right, so more responses coming in. Yatan, Aman, Shreya, Roy and Kishore, even they have got option 4 as the answer. Swati has also got option 4. We have a person by name, username Windawar, who's got 3rd as the answer, option 3, which is only conclusion 2 is true. So look like there's a whole lot of confusion here, right? There are a few who say only conclusion 1 is true. Then others like Windawar and Ashwin, okay, he has given his name here, Ashwin, say that the answer is option 3, only conclusion 2 is true. And the rest others will mark the answer as option 4. Both conclusions 1 and 2 are true. So I think time now to look at the solution, and let me just get my tool here. Okay, so let's now look at the solution. So the approach for solving questions from Syllogs, right? The first step here is to draw the basic diagram for the given set of statements, right? Basic diagram is the one which involves minimum overlapping. Now there are different types of statements, like all A's are B's, some A's are B's, no A is B, some A's are not B's, right? So for each of these statements there is a basic diagram, right? There's a way in which you can show A and B using minimum encroachment, and then there are other possible diagrams. So what you have to do is look at the statements and draw the basic diagram for the given set of statements, right? So no factory is an industry. How do you represent this? No factory is an industry. So this is factory, this here shows industries, right? And no factory is an industry. So these 2 circles will never overlap each other, will not intersect with each other. The next statement says all workshops are industries. All workshops are industries. So the basic way of representing this is as follows. The all workshops will go inside industries. And the last statement says some plants are workshops. So we have to overlap plants with workshops. So some plants are workshops. So that's the basic diagram, right? No factory is industry, all workshops are industries, and some plants are workshops. Now look at the conclusions. The first conclusion says no workshop is a factory. No workshop is a factory. Is that true? Well, if you look at the basic diagram, the one that we have drawn here, it is true. No workshop is a factory. right? No workshop is a factory. Now, because a conclusion has followed the basic diagram, can we mark it as true? Can we say conclusion number 1 is true? No. We have to verify the other diagrams as well. Remember, a conclusion is true if and only if it follows all the diagrams, basic diagram and the possible diagrams, right? A conclusion will be false if it fails even in one of the diagrams, right? Even if it fails in one of the diagrams, it is false. But it will be true only when if it clears all the diagrams here. So the first conclusion has cleared the basic diagram, right? No workshop is a factory is clearly shown in the basic diagram. No workshop is a factory. But will that always be true? Yes, that will always be true. See, we don't have to draw diagrams for that. Logically, if you observe, all the workshops are inside industries. Maybe the size of workshops can increase. The circle representing workshops can increase in size, but it will not increase and go beyond industries. It will always be inside industries. It will always be restricted within I. It can be equal to I, but it cannot be more than I. And we know that industries and factories will not overlap. So basically, workshops are always guarded by industries. Factories cannot touch industries. If factories cannot touch industries, how will they come and touch workshops? So basically, no factory is a workshop, means no workshop is a factory. Are you able to follow? No factory is a workshop because factory cannot touch workshop here, and hence no workshop is a factory. So the conclusion 1 here definitely follows. 1 follows. Look at conclusion 2. At least some plants are industries. Now a very important point which all of you need to understand here is at least some is equal to some. Understand, at least some and some both are same. There is no difference in these two. Right? At least some is as good as some. So at least some plants are industries. You can simply ignore the words at least. Don't get confused with that redundant word there, right? At least. Some plants are industries. The conclusion says some plants are industries. Is that true? Well, if you look at the basic diagram, yes, true. Some plants are industries. See, plants and industries overlap. So some plants are industries is true. But will it always be true? We'll have to verify. Will it always be true? We'll have to verify. How do we verify? Either you draw possible diagrams and check it, or there is a logic which can be used here. See, remember, all workshops are industries. The second statement here, all workshops are industries. Whenever you have a statement which says all A's are B's, A's can be replaced with B's. A can be replaced with B. All workshops are industries means what? Wherever you have workshop, you can write industries there. Blindly, you can write industries there. See, wherever you have industries, that cannot be replaced with workshops. But workshops can be replaced with industries. You're getting it? All A's are B's. All A's are B's. There's a very important point which all of you need to follow. All A's are B's. Implies what? A's can be replaced with B's. A's are equal to B's. But B's cannot be replaced with A's. So all workshops are industries means what? Wherever you have workshop, put industry. Nothing wrong in that. But in place of industries, you cannot write workshop, right? That cannot be done. So if you look at the statements, all workshops are industries and some plants are workshops, we come to a conclusion that some plants are workshops. Some plants are industries. You look at this now. Some plants are industries. Some plants are industries. And that is what is given in the conclusion as well. See, we have already got a statement which says some plants are industries. And the same statement is repeated in the conclusions as well. Some plants are industries. So obviously it has to be true. Yes or no? You cannot say that the second conclusion is false. If you say second conclusion is false, you are saying that the given statement is also false. But remember, statements are always correct. Statements are always correct. Statement is like, you know, like they say in Hindi, patthar ki lakir. You cannot say no to it, right? So statements are always correct. So some plants are industries. Here also it has some plants are industries. So 2 also follows. So 1 follows and 2 follows. Both 1 and 2 are true. Both conclusions 1 and 2 are true. And hence the answer is option 4. So glad to see that most of you have got the correct answer, option 4. But others who would mark the answer as option 1 or option 3 have to, learn from their mistakes, right? Just check where you have gone wrong and rectify. Don't repeat that mistake. This was a simple question from Syllogs, and you cannot be losing your marks on this simple a question. Okay. So that's about the first one. I trust all of you have followed this. Let's move on to the next one now. So here's the second question. Second one from syllogisms, right? 2 statements and 2 conclusions. Some sands are particles, some particles are glasses. So 30 seconds again, or 45 seconds, and your time has already started. Okay, so answers coming in. Shubhendu Roy has got option 2. Preeti says it is option 5. Pavan has also got option 5. Anji also says option 5, but then Srimanta or Srimantana has got option 2. So there is a confusion between option 2 and option 5. While many say it is only conclusion 2 is true, there are a few who says both conclusion 1 and 2 are true. Kishore has got option 5. Yatan says option 3. Okay, so there's a new answer now. Option 3. Either 1 or 2 is true. Either conclusion 1 or 2 is true. Sonia has got option 2. Then we have Jayashri who's got option 5. Kumari has got option 2. Okay, so looks like a confusion there, right? Option 2 or option 5. So there's no clear majority here, right? It's like 50-50. 50% of the students say option 2 and the other 50% says it's option 5. Of course, there's one who had said option 3. Either conclusion 1 or 2 is true, which is, which I would say is not a mistake, it's a crime. You cannot mark answer as either conclusion 1 or 2 is true in this case. See, the simple fact that one of the conclusions is definite type and the other conclusion is possibility type shows that it cannot be an either or case. Are you able to follow? Either 1 or 2 is true is only for definite type of conclusions. So without reading the statements, without actually looking at the conclusions, just by looking at the type of conclusions, definite type conclusions and possibility type conclusions, you can come to a conclusion here. You can come to a consensus here that third one is wrong. Third one cannot be the answer. Whatever else it may be, but third is not possible. You're getting it? Option 3, either 1 or 2 is true, is a stupid, it's a stupid mistake, I would say, right? Don't take it personally, but you have to learn from your mistakes. See, either or is like a complementary pair, right? Complementary pair would come into picture only when both the conclusions are of definite type, right? So 3 is ruled out straight away, right? Kill it. 3 is not possible. 3 is definitely not the answer. Now let's see what the correct answer is, right? Draw the basic diagram. Some sands are particles. Some sands are particles and some particles are glasses. Some particles are glasses. See, there are other ways of drawing it. Some sands are particles. You can also say some particles are glasses in this way. But which is the basic diagram? The first one is the basic one. Why is it so? So the definition of basic diagram is minimum encroachment, right? Minimum overlapping. So by that, the first one is a basic one. Second one is a possible diagram. This is one of the ways of drawing the diagram, right? Possible diagram. Some sands are particles, some particles are glasses, and in this process we find that some glasses are also sands, right? So that's the point. Okay, now look at the conclusions. The first one, some glasses are definitely not particles. Now, like in the previous question we had discussed, the words at least makes no sense because at least some is as good as some. So the word at least was a redundant word there, right? Similarly here in this conclusion, some glasses are definitely not particles. The word definitely is useless. I mean, it has got no meaning there. Even if the word definitely is not there, we would treat the conclusion as a definite conclusion. You're getting it? Some glasses are definitely not particles and some glasses are not particles, are of same type. There's no difference. Getting it? Some glasses are not particles. You are concluding it. Some glasses are not particles. So no need of using the word definitely there, and don't get confused because of that, right? I've observed many students, start wondering what this word definitely means, and hence go wrong here, or at least spend more time by trying to analyze the meaning of the word definitely, but it has got no meaning there in that context, right? So basically the conclusion here is some glasses are not particles, some glasses are not particles. Now if you look at the basic diagram, yes, some glasses are not particles. Basically, we can say these glasses are not particles. You can always choose some of the glasses. I can say these glasses are not particles, these glasses are not particles, right? So basic diagram satisfies the given conclusion, right? Some glasses are not particles. Look at the possible diagram. Now you know that if a conclusion has satisfied the basic diagram does not mean that it is correct. You have to check the possible diagrams. So let us check this possible diagram. Okay, if you look at this possible diagram, again some glasses are not particles. These outside glasses are not particles. You getting it? You can choose some of the glasses here which are not particles, right? Some glasses are not particles. But will it always be true? Satisfied the basic diagram, has satisfied this possible diagram also. So will we say it is true? No. See, if you have practiced enough questions on syllogisms, you can visualize the diagram where this would go wrong, which is the one which I'm going to draw now, right? Look at this second possible diagram. The statement said some sands are particles. We have drawn it in this way. Some sands are particles. Second statement says some particles are glasses, some particles are glasses. Can this not be considered a possible diagram? Yes, this also is a possible diagram. This also is a possible diagram. The basic diagram is only one, but there are multiple possible diagrams. So the first conclusion, some glasses are not particles, has satisfied the basic diagram, has also satisfied this possible diagram, but you see it fails in this one, because here all the glasses are particles. There is no difference between glasses and particles. All the glasses you see are particles, but the conclusion says some glasses are not particles. Can you prove that? Do we have even one glass which is not particle here? No, all the glasses are particles, which means the conclusion clears the basic diagram, clears the first possible diagram, but fails in this one. And because it has failed in one of the diagrams, it is false. Remember, a conclusion has to follow each and every diagram possible there. You getting it? So conclusion number 1 does not follow. Conclusion 1 does not follow. Now, do we always have to draw all the diagrams to verify? No. If you have practiced enough, you can solve most of these questions just by visualizing the diagram, or maybe even without drawing the diagram you can answer some of the questions. Like for example, this particular conclusion, especially some glasses are not particles. Straight away, without drawing even the basic diagram, you can say this is wrong. How is it possible? See, the statement said some particles are glasses. Look at the second statement. Some particles are glasses. Which format is this? Some A's are B's. You know that for some A's are B's, the definite conclusion is some B's are A's. So if the statement says some particles are glasses, we can say definitely some glasses are particles. So what can be definitely said is some glasses are particles. But what is given here? Some glasses are not particles. It is not definite. It may be possible, but it's not definite. So just by that basic concept of knowing the definite conclusion for a given statement, you can conclude that the first conclusion is wrong. Yes or no? Some particles are glasses. The definite conclusion has to be some glasses are particles. And hence the first one is wrong. Look at second one. Some glasses being sands is a possibility. Now this is a possibility type. So this conclusion here is a possibility type. What does it mean? You don't have to check that in every diagram there. If you can draw even one diagram which satisfies that, it can be taken as correct. We have to check, is it possible or not? Now possible can be only in one case, right? It will not be possible in all the cases there, right? So check, is there any diagram which says some glasses are sands? Yes, the second diagram says some glasses are sands. Look at this possible diagram. Of course, in the basic diagram it fails. Some glasses being sands is possible, fails in the basic diagram, but does not mean that it is wrong, because there is one possible diagram, right? Some glasses are sands. Look at this diagram. That's it. So even if there is one diagram which can show that some glasses are sands is a possibility, we can say this is correct. So the answer for this question here should be only conclusion 2 is true, which is option 5. Option 5. Okay, I think there has been a query from Dileshwar Kusum, that please upload the previous session video of quant from previous prelims paper. Well, we'll upload that video. You don't have to be so impatient. We'll do that, right? If I'm not wrong, the video should already be there in the YouTube channel of TalentSprint. If it has not been uploaded yet, don't worry. It will get uploaded soon. Okay? Looks like you have missed the live session last week, last Wednesday at 6 p.m. Not the last Wednesday at 6 p.m. It was the week before that. So 14 days ago, right? 13 days ago. So that video should be there in the YouTube channel already, right? You can just check it. Now there are queries as expected. Win the war. Ashwin says, but they have said some. I think he's referring to the second conclusion. Are you referring to the second conclusion or the first one? Ashwin. Shubhendu also has a query. Shubhendu says, I have a query. If some glasses are particles, then the rest of the glass is not particle. Shubhendu, that's what I was trying to explain, right? See, some glasses are particles does not mean that the remaining glasses are not particles. The basic definition of some. What is definition of some? Some does not mean literally some. I mean, there is a meaning for some. I am sure all of you know that. But when it comes to syllogisms, logically, if you see, some starts from 1. It can go up to all. The minimum value of some is 1. It can go up to all. So some glasses are particles, or some particles are glasses, can also be drawn in this way. You should have actually objected when I draw this diagram. Third diagram here, right? The statement said some particles are glasses, but our diagram shows all the particles are glasses. So how is it true? Or the statement said some sands are particles. We have drawn only one circle showing both sands and particles. How is it true? It is true because some A's or B's can also be drawn. See, the basic way of drawing some A's or B's is as follows. Some A's or B's. But the other way of drawing it is A's and B's both are equal. A and B both are equal. You're getting it? I think you guys have to go and refer to the basic concepts of syllogs, right? It is very clear that you guys have not understood the basic concepts of syllogism. Some does not mean some literally, right? Some can also mean all. You're able to follow. So that is the reason we have drawn the third possible diagram here, right? Where sands and particles and glasses, all three are equal. And that is the reason we are saying the first one is false. The first conclusion is false and the second one is true. Okay, Aman has got another query. He says, what happens if the same statement is given in the conclusion? If the same statement is given in the conclusion, it has to be taken as correct. I think I'll come to the screen for clearing this one, right? Okay, I think to Aman's query, what happens if the statement and conclusion are same? See, Aman, understand there are few thumb rules that you need to remember. Statements are always correct. If the statement says sun rises from south, yes, sun rises from south. You cannot laugh at it, right? What nonsense is this? Sun rises in the east. Or if the statement says, let's say there are 46 months in a year, yes, there are 46 months in a year. With all due respect, yes, there are 46 months in a year. So the point that I'm trying to make is whatever is given in the statement has to be taken as correct. Are you able to follow? Whatever is given in the statement has to be taken as correct. That is the reason always you see the questions from Syllogs have this directions which says, disregard the commonly known facts. Don't consider the commonly known facts. Like for example, let's say the statement says, Kareena Kapoor is a granddaughter of Saif Ali Khan. Yes, it is correct. You can't say, no, Kareena Kapoor is a wife of Saif Ali Khan. Don't argue with that, right? Don't argue with the statement. If the statement has said something, it is correct. As simple as that. So the point is, if the same statement is given in the conclusion, then what happens? Your question is, will that conclusion be true or false? Now just try to think about it. If you say that the conclusion is false, you're actually saying that the statement is also false. But do you have that right? No, because statements are always correct. All due respect, statements are always correct, right? It's a master, it's the king, right? So if the same statement is given in the conclusion, it has to be considered as correct. You cannot mark it as false, right? Because if you say that conclusion is false, you're indirectly saying that the statement also is false. But statements are never false. So hence, the statement when given in the conclusion, it has to be taken as correct. I hope this clears your query. I'm sure not just Aman, there are many others who have this question in their mind, right? What happens if the same statement is given in the conclusion? Take it as correct. Simple, blind rule. All right. Then Praveen says, same statement and conclusion with possibility. Then also the answer is yes, it follows. Because it is possible. If you're saying it is not possible, you are saying that the conclusion is wrong. And if the conclusion is wrong, you are saying that the statement is wrong. But you cannot do that. You're getting it? I think Kanil also has the same, Anil also has the same query. That same statement and conclusion with possibility, then what will be the answer? Same argument. If you say that possibility is wrong, it is false, you are saying that the statement is false. But can you say that? No, you have no right to say that. As simple as that. I hope all of you followed this. Clear? Yes. Okay, Ashwin has got another query here. I think some officers are company and some officers are not company. Are both same, sir? No. Some officers are company and some officers are not company, are not same. They are different. The basic diagram for both is same. The basic diagram for both, some officers are company and some officers are not company, will be same. Again, you have to go back and refer to the concepts of syllogism, right? You just go watch the syllogism video, right? We have if I'm not wrong, 2 hours, 10 minutes of syllogism video, right? Starting from the very basic concepts. What is the meaning of a statement? What does a statement mean? What do you mean by a conclusion? What do you mean by a possibility? From that, we've gone up to all the complex concepts like complementary pairs, possibility, and all this stuff has been covered there. So just refer to that video, right? I'm sure all the TalentSprint students will not have difficulty in all this, right? And you can watch that video any number of times you want. See, the reason why I'm talking about the number of times here is that syllogism is one concept where you'll probably have to, revisit the video. Just watching it once may not make it absolutely clear. You're able to follow. it is actually a lovely topic, and personally my favorite, and this in my view tests your reasoning ability in the right way. This is a true test of your reasoning ability, not those topics of coding and decoding and directions and all that stuff. Of course it comes under reasoning, not against that, but syllogism is like a different league, right? And you have to watch the video 2-3 times at least, right? Because every time you watch it, your understanding will better, right, with each view there. Okay, so just go watch the whole video, and I'm sure all these basic concepts will be cleared. All right, your basics have to be absolutely strong, and you also know that this is a very, very important topic when it comes to bank exams, right? I mean, it's like gunshot 5 marks question in bank exams. Okay, any more queries on this? I think we'll move on to the next one. Okay, Dileshwar Kumar again posed the same thing, right? Please upload the previous sessions video, quant from previous SBI PO paper, please. So whether you post this one time or 149 times, we'll post it only once, right? We'll upload the video once. And if I'm not wrong, the video is already there. The video is there in the YouTube channel. Are you only typing in the chat? Listen to what I'm saying, right? I've already responded saying that the video is there in the YouTube channel. Please refer to that. Search for TalentSprint's YouTube channel, right? And you can find the list of all those videos. Okay. Okay, so trust this part is clear to all of you. Now I think we are running short of time. We have only close to 15 to 20 minutes left. So what I'll do is jump to the second topic. I mean, there are like 3 more questions on syllogism. You can take it as practice for yourself. What I'll do now is take up a very interesting question on arrangements, because that also is important. Of course, you should not solve questions from arrangements in the exam, but when you practice, you should definitely try out as many questions as possible. So let me share that question with all of you. I'll give you about 5 minutes to try it yourself, right? And I'm sure you'll love it, right? You'll either fall in the trap or you'll fall in love with that, right? I mean, so try that out, and then we will look at the approach, right? There cannot be a step-by-step process as such. There's no formula for getting the answer for arrangement based questions. Like syllogism, there is a step-by-step process. You do this, then check here, and then check there, and if this is the case, then this is the answer. If this is not the case, then this is the answer, and all that. But arrangements is not that, right? Arrangements is different, right? Every question is unique. So I'll share that question, give it a shot, right? Wholeheartedly try it out, and then we look at the solution for that, right? Sharing my screens again, and here we go. I had solved this just a couple of days back for our premium online students, right? Online students who have enrolled for the TalentSprints program. There are many questions actually. These are all previous year's questions, right? See questions on blood relations and questions on directions and all that, right? But this is one which I want all of you to try. Okay, so the question is on your screens now, and this is on a blood relation mixed with arrangement. Okay, Shubhendu Roy says, please take some inequalities on blood relations, right? Inequalities on blood relations, what do you mean by that? Okay, Praveen says arrangements with blood relations nowadays are too difficult to solve. Okay, I thought they were difficult to solve even olden days, right? Long ago. But don't worry, I think the approach when you go for the exam, right? When you face such question in the exam is to skip and move to the next one, right? And revisit. I mean, after you solve the remaining questions, come back to these questions. So try this out. Let's see how many of you get the right solution. So it says a family of 7 members go for a picnic in a Scorpio. There are 2 couples in the family. Each member has a coded name B1, B2, B3, so on up to B7. Only 2 members can sit in the front row as well as in the back row of the car, and the rest can sit in the middle row. Not more than 2 males or females can sit in the same row or column. The daughter-in-law is driving the car. 1 couple is seated in the same column. The granddaughter sits on the immediate left of her grandmother. Then some more information there. B2 is the father of B5. B7 has 2 sons and a daughter. B6 sits in the back row. B2 and B4 don't sit in the front row. B3 is married to B2. B1 is the father of B6. Both the brothers sit in the same column, and B4 is the daughter of B1. So a lot of information about the blood relations given in the second paragraph there. And many conditions in the first paragraph. So 5 to 6 minutes and your time starts now. Anusha has got a query. Should we solve this in the exam? No. You should skip this one in 0 seconds in the exam. When I say skip, you just skip it, solve the remaining questions in the section, and whatever time is left out, then come back and try it out. All right. So we are assuming that you will come back and try it out, and hence trying to solve this one. So try it out. Okay, I can see Maulik and a few others worried about the zoom in option there, the maximize screen option. We are working on that. Our team is working to get that option in place, and I'm sure when we meet the next time, we'll have it in place, right, where you can zoom in the screen and look at the video closely, right? Okay, Preeti has already concluded that she's not getting it. I think Preeti, you should try it wholeheartedly, right? I'm sure you have not done it properly. I mean, you have lost hopes just by reading the data there. So don't do that. And Shubhendu Roy says skip. See, skip is the method in the exam, right? Not when you're practicing. So you can't be skipping it here. Okay, I hope others are trying it out. Although there is no chat for last few seconds, but I'm assuming that all of you are seriously trying this one, right? And hence not chatting with me. Okay, so we have got few comments here saying completed, right? Manikanandan, Anji and Swati. So great to see that you're able to finish this, and there are 5 questions along with this data, right, for your information, which are very easy to answer, right? Once you've got the arrangement done, answering the questions would be a no-brainer, right? But how about others? How many of you have found it to be difficult? Okay, Anusha has also done it, and Maulik says I found it to be difficult, right? What about others? Shubhendu says it's difficult. Ayush also has found this to be difficult, right? Ayush, the real hero. So the real hero is finding it to be difficult. And we have, okay, these are like all typical usernames, right? James Bang Web, if I'm pronouncing it right? Difficult, he says. So let's look at the solution now. I think while some of you are able to crack this, there are many there who have got stuck there, right? You have got trapped in that. So the best way to solve such questions in the exam would be to just skip and move to the next one, right? Do not waste your time in trying out such questions. At least don't attempt it immediately. First solve the remaining part of the paper, and then if time permits, come back to such questions. All right. Now let us see how do we go about this, right? So the data says a family of 7 members go for a picnic in a Scorpio, right? So total 7 members in the family. There are 2 couples in the family, right? So 2 couples and 3 are independent members. Then each member has a coded name B1 to B7, right? So B1, B2, B3 are the names. Only 2 members can sit in the front row as well as in the back row of the car, and the rest can sit in the middle row. See, only 2 members. See, 2 members can sit in the front row, and then 2 members can sit in the back row, and the rest can sit in the middle row. So out of 7, if 2 sit in the front row, 2 in the back row, then rest would be 3, and those 3 can sit in the middle row. All right. Then it says not more than 2 males or females can sit in the same row or column. See, understand, we are going to arrange these 7 persons in a car in Scorpio. So basically, it's not just about rows. We are not arranging them in a straight line. It's not a row. It's a combination of rows and columns. So not more than 2 males or females can sit in the same row or same column. So if you try to visualize the top view of the arrangement, what happens? See, this is the car, let us assume. I mean, if you look at the top view, there is a driver's seat, and then there is a co-passenger with the driver, right? So these are the 2 seats. Then the middle row will have 3 seats, and then the back row will have 2 seats. That's what it says, right? 2 members can sit in the front row. So this is the front row, this is the back row, and 3 members in the rest of the members, which is 3 in the middle row. So this is how the arrangement would look like, right? This is like a H. If you see a column, second column, and then there is a intersecting line here. So it's like H. I mean, the positions there would look like H. You're getting it? This is the only way it can be arranged. There's no other possibility there. Okay. So I'll just give some spacing, right? Space it out properly so that it's easier to fill, right? So 2 seats in the front row, 3 in the middle row, and 2 in the back row. Okay. So it says not more than 2 males or females can sit in the same row or same column. So if you look at the front row, there cannot be more than 2 males or 2 females. Of course, there are only 2 seats, so no chance that there can be more than 2 males there. But if you look at the middle row, there are 3 seats. So all 3 cannot be males or all 3 can be females, right? Not more than 2 are allowed. So maximum 2 males or 2 females, right? Now back row anyway, there are only 2 seats. So either 2 males or 2 females or 1 male and 1 female would come. But if you look at the columns now, see there are 2 columns also. First column has got 3 seats, second column has also got 3 seats. So even in these columns, maximum 2 males or 2 females, right? There cannot be more than 2 males or more than 2 females there. So you need to just keep all these conditions in mind. Otherwise it would be, that's what will help us, close out all the possibilities and zero into the one which actually fits there. Okay. Then look at the next part there. The daughter-in-law is driving the car, right? Daughter-in-law. So in this, family of 7 members, there's a daughter-in-law who is driving the car, right? So let's assume this is a driver's seat. Assuming that it's a right-hand drive, like in our country, this is the driver's seat. So daughter-in-law is sitting there. But who's the daughter-in-law is not clear to us. B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, B7, any one of these. Then one couple is seated in the same column. One couple is seated in the same column means what, right? Same column. So couple will either come here or here or here or here. There are 4 possibilities, right? Column. So couple can take these 2 seats or these 2 or these 2 or these 2, right? Then the granddaughter sits on the immediate left of the grandmother. Granddaughter sits on the immediate left of the grandmother. So basically in this family there are 3 generations we can say, right? Clearly 3 generations. The granddaughter would sit immediately on the left of grandmother. So if here we have the grandmother seated somewhere, the granddaughter would be immediately on the left side. So these are 2 consecutive persons, right? Granddaughter on the immediate left of grandmother. Okay. Now look at the points there. B2 is the father of B5. Let's try and draw the family tree. B2 is the father of B5. So B2 is the father, male person of B5. What's the gender of B5? Not known to us, right? B5 can be male or female. Both are possible. So usually the confusion is when you say B2 is the father of B5, the immediate reaction is B5 is the son of B2. But how do you know it is the son? So gender is not very clear there, right? So B2 is the father of B5. B2 is a male person. B5's gender is not known. Then B7 has 2 sons and a daughter. So try to draw this. B7 has 2 sons and a daughter. Now since B7 is not available here, we'll try to take it separate, right? B7, let's say B7 has 2 sons and a daughter. So basically 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. So this is 1 son, the second son and a daughter. We're just marking the gender there, right? Names are not known to us, right? So 2 will be male and 1 child will be female, right? B7 has 2 sons and 1 daughter. B6 sits in the back row. B6 sits in the back row. Now which is the back row? This is the back row. So B6 has to come here. So let's plot it. We will say that B6 would come here, right? B6 will come in the back row. B6 has to come in the back row. So either this sit or this sit. Then B2 and B4 don't sit in the front row. B2 and B4 don't sit in the front row. The front row is this one. B2 and B4 will not sit here. Understand, B2 or B4 will not be seated in the front row. B6 will definitely be seated in the back row. Alright. So try to pictorially represent it always. It becomes easier when you are trying to fill the gaps. You're able to follow. B2 and B4 do not sit in the front row. So there's a cross mark here, meaning these 2 cannot come here. And B6 can actually sit in the back row. Next point says B3 is married to B2. Now we already have B2 here. So B3 is married to B2. So let's plot it. B3 is married to B2. You know, right? If you look at the blood relations video of TalentSprint, you would know that we always represent married couples using a double-headed arrow. So B3 and B2 has a double-headed arrow in between, which means this is a married couple. And since B2 is the father, obviously B3 will be the mother. As in, if B2 is husband, B3 has to be wife. So husband and wife couple. B3 is married to B2. B1 is the father of B6. B1 is the father of B6. Now what do you do this? B1 is the father of B6. B1 is the father of B6. We have neither B1 nor B6 in the plot so far, right? We don't have B1 or B6 in the plot so far, but clearly it says B1 is the father of B6. See, understand, this is a very, very important statement. If you can, if you can realize the hidden points in this statement, half of the problem is done. B1 is the father of B6 means what? B1 is a part of those two married couples. See, there are only two married couples. Remember, two couples. We have already got the first couple. B2, B3 is the first couple. B2, B3 is the first couple. Yes or no? There are only two couples in the family. So first couple is B2 and B3. Now, and we know that B7, where is that? B7 has two sons and a daughter. So B7 has two sons and daughter. So because B7 has children, obviously B7 is also married. I mean, it will be a part of the couple, right? B7 has two sons and a daughter. Now the statement says B1 is the father of B6. So if B1 is a father, definitely B1 is also a part of those two couples. So already the couple is available here. Two persons are available here. The third person is B7. And now B1 is the father of B6. So clearly B1 has to be married to B7 only. There is no other possibility. Are you able to follow? B1 is the father of B6. The only choice is B1 has to be married to B7. And then he'll become the father of B6. Because B1 is a part of that married couple, B7 is also a part of married couple, the other married couple is B2 and B3. So B7 and B1 have to be connected. And since B1 is the father, we know that he's a male person. So B7 will be female. So husband and wife couple, the second couple. And B1 is the father of B6. So one of the sons is B6. One of the sons is B6. So B1 son. See, we already knew that B7 has got two sons and a daughter. So one son is B6. B7 son and B1 son will be same, right? Couple, that's a couple. So B1 is the father of B6. Now, both the brothers sit in the same column. You have to remember this point, that both the brothers sit in the same column. Both the brothers. See, if you look at the diagram here, family diagram, the only two brothers are these two persons here. You getting it? These two are brothers. The two sons of B1 and B7. They are the only two brothers, right? And the last point says B4 is the daughter of B1. B4 is the daughter of B1. B1 is already available here. B4 is the daughter. So daughter is this female child, right? B4 is the daughter of B1. You get it? Daughter of B1. So if you observe, all the 7 persons have been plotted here, but in two different parts. B2, B3, B5 is one part of the tree. B1, B7, B6, B4 is the other part. But still there is a branch which is open. So obviously with this open branch, we have to connect these two parts. Yes or no? If there is an 8 person, probably that 8 person would come here. But there are only 7 persons. We already have the 4 here and the remaining 3 in this part of the diagram. So the connection for these two will be through this part, this open branch. And the only possibility is that this son of B1 and B7, this child of B1 and B7, who is a male child, has to be B2. It has to be B2. It completes the family tree. You're getting it? B2 has to be the child here. So let us connect it. There's no other possibility. See, B3 cannot come. Why can't B3 come here? B3 come. B3 is a female person, and we know that this place is left, has been reserved for a male person. So B3 cannot come. And can B5 come? No, B5 cannot come. B5 cannot come here. Why? Why? See, the reason why B5 cannot come here is because of this statement which says grandmother and granddaughter. There was some statement using grandmother and granddaughter, right? See, we know that there are 3 generations in this family. If you say B5 comes here, if B5 is taken here, what happens? B3 and B2 will go to the generation above, which already has B1 and B7. So there are 2 couples in the same generation, and then there are 3 children. So what happens? Only 2 generations. But we know that we need 3 generations because grandmother and granddaughter was mentioned. So clearly B5 cannot come. So if B5 cannot come, and if B3 cannot come, the only choice is B2 has to come there. Yes or no? So this person is B2. And we know that B2's child is B5. So I'll just clear this part and connect B3. Right? B3 is married to B2. You're getting it? Just moving it so that there is only one tree that we have. So this completes the family tree there. This completes the family tree. So what happens? B7 and B1 in the top generation, which is a married couple. Then the other married couple is B3 and B2. The other children of B7 and B1 are B6 and B4. And B3 and B2 has a child, B5. Now the only gender that is not known here, is of B5, at least so far, which is not known as B5. But remember, we know that there is a granddaughter in the family, and the only grandchild in the family here is B5. So obviously B5 has to be the granddaughter. Yes or no? There was a mention of granddaughter. So B5 has to be the granddaughter, which means female. B5 is female. So now all the genders are known to us, right? We know all the persons, the family tree, complete family tree, and the genders. And what is left out is arrangement part. So let's start the arrangement. I think the obvious point that we knew was the daughter-in-law is driving the car. Remember, the daughter-in-law is driving the car. Now, who is the daughter-in-law? B3 is the daughter-in-law. So B3 is driving the car. B3 is driving the car, right? Also mark the gender here, female, because we know that not more than two persons can come in the same, not more than two males or two females can come in the same row or same column. All right. So B3 would come there. Okay. Now, what else is obvious? The other obvious point is that B6 has to come in the back row, but there are two seats in the back row. So which seat is occupied by B6? It's not very clear. So we'll do one thing to avoid the confusion. Let us take both the possible cases. See, daughter-in-law drives the car is fixed. Now the other case would be, same, daughter-in-law drives the car. Let us draw whatever is fixed first. Right. Now what we are trying to do here is that we know B6 will come in the back row. So we have taken two cases. We'll take B6 in this seat in one case and B6 in this seat in the other seat in the second case. Are you able to follow? There are two possible positions for B6. We have considered both of them using two different cases. And we'll now try to fill the gaps. It becomes easy. And B6 is a male person. See, B6 we know is one of those brothers, male person. So let's mark B6. Are you able to follow this? So this condition with respect to B6 is done now. B6 comes in the back row. So there were two possibilities. Both of those possibilities have been considered. Now try to fill the gaps. What else do we know? We know that B2 and B4 will not come in the front row. So we should not fill B2 and B4 in these positions, right? Anyway, that's not very obvious. We cannot fix who comes there. What we know is who cannot come there, right? So try to use the other points now. I think one of the statements said the two brothers, see both the brothers sit in the same column. Who are the two brothers? B2 and B6 are the two brothers. They are siblings, right? B2, B6, B4 all are siblings. And B2 and B6 both are males. So these are the two brothers. Yes or no? The only two brothers in the family are B2 and B6. They have to come in the same column. Now that B6 position is already marked, we can say B2 has to come here. Are you able to follow? B2 has to come in the same column. Both the brothers come in the same column. So B2 should either come here or in this position. Either in this position or in this position. But can B2 come here? No. See, clearly we know that B2 cannot sit in the front row. So the only choice is B2 has to come in this position. So both the brothers are in the same column, right? We cannot take B2 in the first position, in the front row, because it's not allowed. With respect to the second arrangement, B2 and B6 have to be in the same column. So the only choice for B2 is this one. So B2 is also fixed. B2 is also fixed, right? So three persons have been plotted in both the cases. Now go to this point, the grandmother-granddaughter point. What did we know? That the granddaughter sits on the immediate left of grandmother. Where is that point? Yeah, see the granddaughter, who is the granddaughter? B5, sits on the immediate left of the grandmother, of her grandmother. So B5 sits on the immediate left of grandmother. Who is the grandmother? B7, right? B7 is the grandmother. So B5 sits on the immediate left of the grandmother. So definitely B5, B7 will be together in the same row. See on the immediate left. So granddaughter is on the immediate left, B5 and B7. Which means we need two consecutive positions for B5 and B7 in the same row. So if you look at the first case, the only possibility is B5 and B7 will take these two positions. So B5 and B7. Similarly, in the second case, the only possibility is B5 comes here and B7. Done. So I think done. In both the cases, we have done half of it. Only two positions are left out now. So who are marked? B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, right? B2, B3, B5, B6, B7. So B2, B3, B5, B6, B7. The left out persons are B4 and B1. Now we know B4 cannot come in the front row. See, already we have noted this. B4 cannot come in the front row. So B4 has to come here. Here B4 has to come here. So B4 is also marked. And B4, by the way, is a female person. And the other person is B1. So B1 comes in the front row. B1 is male or female? Male. B1 comes in the front row. Now the question that arises is, both the cases have been filled. Case 1 and case 2 both have been filled. So which of these two is correct? How do you decide which of these two is correct? Remember, there was one more condition. Not more than two males or two females can sit in the same row or same column. So check where is it getting violated. I think in case 1, if you see, all the 3 persons in this column, B1, B2 and B6 are males. But we know that maximum there can be 2 males in a column. Here we have got all 3 males. So hence first one is wrong. Check in second one. Second one obviously has to be correct. Is there any violation in second one? No. 2 females, 2 females, 2 males, right? Not more than 2 in anywhere, in any row or column. So I'm sure that second one is the correct arrangement, right? Let's just highlight this in a green color box. So this is the correct arrangement, and the relationships are as taken up here. All right, I hope all of you have followed this. I have tried to explain this in as much detail as possible, and that is the reason it has taken so much of time. See, don't go by the length of the explanation. Don't think that. Let me just come to this video. See, don't assume that because I've explained it in so much of time, it actually takes so much time. No, when you solve it yourself, you'll do it much faster. When I have to solve it myself, I'll do much faster, because I was reading out everything. I was trying to explain to you why not. It has taken a lot of time, right? But anyways, all said and done, the approach for solving such complex arrangements in the exam is skip, go to the next one, as simple as that. After you have solved the remaining questions of the paper, if time permits, come back and try to attend these. So always mark such questions for review, right? In the exam you have an option called mark for review. So always mark it for review and come back later if time permits, right? But then you may ask me a question that why did we solve it here? When anyway we have to skip it, why are we solving and wasting our time in these live sessions? The point is, from the practice point of view, you definitely have to try out such questions. Yes or no? This will only help you. See, if you have solved one such question, maybe in the exam you will be able to complete a question of similar type. Or there are these rules, the approach is important, right? What kind of conditions were we trying to use? How do we verify the conditions? All these things will help us complete the arrangement. So it is very, very important that you practice such questions, right? You need not focus too much on this, but definitely practice at least a few questions of these type, right? And in the examination, just skip it. Maybe if it's not your lucky day, all the reasoning questions, all the 35 questions from reasoning could be from complex arrangements. Then what will you do? You cannot be skipping all the 35 questions, right? That's not a rule, right? What I say is skip it for the moment, solve the remaining questions and come back. So if all are complex arrangement, then definitely you'll have to do something. So keeping that worst case in mind, you have to definitely practice such questions. All right. So I hope all of you have followed. Now there will be 5 questions asked along with this, which is like no-brainer. You can answer the question very easily. He may ask you who is the granddaughter, how is B2 related to B7, who is sitting in the front row, who all are sitting in the middle row, how many are females, how many are males, right? These type of questions. So just look at the arrangement in the car and the family tree and answer those 5 questions, right? So answering questions would be very quick. It's just that this arrangement and all would take time. So this is one of the complex arrangement question, right, which involves blood relations. Like someone was mentioning that usually complex arrangements with blood relations is like complex, is like of higher complexity. True, it takes time, but if you follow the step by step, if you go in a step by step manner, you will be able to complete it, right? You just have to understand those hidden conditions. Many of us get stuck there, right? We get trapped there. We only see what is given there. But what is important here is you have to see even that point which is not mentioned directly, right? Which is not mentioned explicitly. Okay. So I think done with the session. We are already late by 10-15 minutes, so we'll close it here. I wish I could solve more questions, but since we have very limited time, I'll have to close it. But when we meet again in our future sessions for free sessions for bank exams, right? Every Wednesday we have a free session, so we will take up more such questions, right? But then you keep practicing, right? All of you keep practicing. Thank you all for participating in this session, and do well in your exam, right? We'll meet again on next Wednesday at 6 p.m. right? The details of the session are uploaded on our YouTube channel, right? So you can just refer to that and join us with your friends on the coming Wednesday. Till then, keep practicing, and if you'd like to explore about our online programs, you can visit our website, which is talentsprint.com, right? talentsprint.com. And you can also call our toll-free number, which is 1-800-2000-916 for more details. All right. See you all in the next session. Till then, keep practicing and take very good care of yourselves. All the best. Hello everyone, I'm Rohit and I welcome you all to TalentSprint, India's leading career accelerator for youth. If you are highly aspirational about cracking bank and SSC exams, then you have landed at the right place. TalentSprint's online preparation programs for bank and SSC exams can help you crack these exams with 10 times more confidence and boost your chances of selection. These online programs comes with a video library.
Welcome to TalentSprint. I'm Sylvia and I'm here to share your daily dose on job skills. In this video, we will learn how to speak in a jam session. Now, Just a Minute is a great tool to help improve your managing, convincing, and your overall general speaking skills. So by the end of this video, you would have learned how jam can actually aid in improving 3 skills for you. 1, your ability to organize your thought flow. 2, your ability to apply logic, and sound convincing. 3, your general speaking skills. Now, most